Hello everyone. It's time to make ourselves a brand new ship. And I have been looking for a little bit prior to the last recording and basically contemplating if I want to do a medium type ship using my missile disruption field or go with something smaller. And what I have decided, considering these missile disruptors you can only actually have one per ship, I figured it might be a good idea to just to go with a small type of fighter, and that way, if I can get several of these in a fleet, the effects of these things will start to stack up tremendously there from like having multiples of these ships, as opposed to having just the one there for like a cruiser, because really that would be the only amount I only be able to justify having one per ship. I'm just really hoping that the having multiples of those in a single fleet actually does stack up. That would be kind of nice. So, let's get started, shall we? Because, let's see, these things are going to have about 50 health base, so they're going to be a lot more vulnerable. I was really contemplating maybe doing a tiny ship there, because, heck, it would take less logistics as a process there, be cheaper that way, and all that stuff. So yeah, that would be useful for if I was going to go strictly for missile defense, but of course they're going to be so damn fragile if they ever get shot at. So I think we're going to go with a small type ship there, have reasonable defenses of its own, a little bit of firepower, but the main point is to be the missile screen. So how the hell do I start? I've been thinking about this for a while, and now I completely forgot what I decided on. This needs to be some kind of like defensive ship though, I think, so I think we're gonna stick with this kind of this hull piece here. I honestly don't know what I was thinking there. I was thinking like maybe a butterfly or moth. It's kind of similar to like the moth essentially there, but it needs to look more like a support type role ship as opposed to like a fighter with not as aggressive looking, essentially, is what I want. So if I can actually make that work, we will have to see. Also, I'm curious, how does this look upside down? A bit weird. A bit weird. We'll have to see. I want to try and make this the center point to my ship though, which means we could do a couple things. That curvature there is actually conveniently shaped to put like an engine of some kind. I just don't know what kind of engine do I want to put on there. Oh, these are just large. I thought those were all engines. Never mind. So let's see. We got the dual thrusters, which might be not bad. A bunch of singular ones, which I don't think I care for. Square. And we got the multi-thruster here, which probably it would be good for a center engine, mind you, to have something like this in the middle, because at least that way it'll look like it'd be propulsion engines as impulse engines as opposed to like hyperwarp drives, which I can use for the outside. Let's see. And then I can easily scale that to fit maybe with the bottom there. That's the hope anyway. Maybe I have to change the scaling somewhat, because that's possibly too big. At least width, or at least the height. Now, does that just make it look silly? Again, it's that weird little notion with the kind of texturing. How the textures get impacted by this. So, it may not be the best idea, so otherwise, let's get that fleshed out. It doesn't look too terribly bad there. I need to fix that one little spot there if possible. So there, that looks pretty good. It flows in decently. It's an engine component, and depending on how much room, if I'm comfortable with the amount of space I have there, I could easily back it up maybe to have it stick out a little bit more, and have that metal piece just stick there. Maybe that'll work. Gives me a little bit more room to work with, and actually seems to work decently there. So now we gotta get ourselves a central component of some kind, which leaves me to wonder if I should just use that piece there. I'm trying to find the actual piece rather than a generic one I end up saving. Because I don't care for that. Because I think, yeah, it has the cockpit piece on as well, doesn't it? So, I don't think I want that. Just gotta figure out if it's this piece I want. Which, unfortunately, is in the worst possible position. Or if I want to do the other one there, that circular one, rather than the one with the slope. Heck, it might be better to do the other one there, but this, because the lights there does kind of make it stand out a little bit too much to my liking, quite frankly. And I'm gonna have to flip it upside down there. That's actually not too bad, and we got ourselves a little bit of horn sticking out there. Is that what I want though? Because this is supposed to be like a Corvette fighter. I'm not sure if I'm really fond of all those lights. Unless I can cover over it, that's the only real thing. But wow, that curvature almost flows perfectly with the tip of that piece. Let me just back it up a tiny bit, make it a little more flush. That almost fits perfectly there. I could just adjust proportional scaling a tiny bit, maybe. Actually, that's a dumb idea, because the metal would stick out even more there, so that might be an issue. But it fits miraculously well. I just need something to cover up the side a little bit, kind of fill in that girth a little bit. I don't know if I want a shell to do that, or something else. Let me try the shell. Let me just get a copy there, scale it down, flip it around, all that good stuff. Because I'm curious to see how that works. If it can make it look decent. Because you know, I just had a fun thought. What if I somehow made this seem like it was like part of the ECM, or was it the point defense shield? Like those are actually like the fans that kind of... Technically that would make sense if it was like an ECM component, but since it's more of a point defense, this may not make as much sense. But I like the idea somehow, like have them close outside combat. It would need to be fleshed out a little bit, mind you. And somehow, if it were able to open up in combat, that would be like kind of like a energy screen of some kind, which would be kind of cool. And since that technically is supposed to cover that up, it would almost look like it's turning on some kind of power source of sorts. It's kind of difficult to do it that way, the way I would like, considering that this design doesn't have that complexity to it. I can give it movement, mind you, to make it rotate that, but it's gonna be completely uncontrolled. But I like that idea a lot. So let me see what I can do here. I can make it wider. All that. It covers over it decently there. It fits in there relatively well too. Wow. That fits in almost perfectly there. I just need some way to maybe have like 2 more fans maybe? Oh. Wow. Isn't that dumb luck or what? Almost completely dumb luck. The back needs to be fleshed out as well. That fits almost perfectly. And then voila! Open up the screen and let the point defense weaponry do its thing. That almost would be beautiful. Of course, realistically it's not entirely possible, but there is like animational that I can do. There's just no way to kind of like control it too much, is there? Animate rotation, motion, and animate the scale. So there's a few cool things I could do with that. And I already love the idea of it. It just means the back here needs to kind of be more the bulk. So which means I might have to work with it a little bit more. But that's astonishing how well that seemed to fit in there. I'm just wondering where to go from here. Or do I actually want to stick with just 2 of those pieces? Would 2 be good? Or would it be better to have like 4? I have more flexibility with just 2. And that still serves kind of the same purpose. And quite frankly, it does look a little bit better. Even though I do like the top portions there. Okay, so I don't think I need 8 there, but yeah, I do like that ultimately. But I think we'll stick with this for the time being, because that almost seriously leaves nothing to adjust in the bottom portion anyway. Which means I have the awkward job of having to figure out how the hell to connect make this an actual ship, because this seriously can't be it, right? We can't make this a simple 10-minute video. Because we need to add wings, we need to add like shell, we need to add girth to this thing. Make it not seem fragile. So the question then becomes, how do I add that width? Because we got a couple of options here. Can I have this piece hidden inside the engine? As part of the engine, would that be decent? Let's try and experiment a little bit, because I don't need too much out of it, I just need width. And also, it comes down to figuring out where's a good spot to put it. Because let's see, if I do proportional scaling, there we go. And try and extend the width a little bit. Although, maybe this is a dumb idea. Because I'm not sure how to do this right. Because that's such a solid start, this can easily ruin it for me. And I don't like that thought too much. Yeah, because it's too far forward like that, it clips into the wings that I so much want. And do it like that, it kind of clips into that side metal piece of the engine components, so let me try and extend the width a little more. Now, I'm just curious, if I rotate this out, it doesn't really intrude. I could push it out a little bit further. I really do love this idea. It's just a shame I can't really add that complexity I want. I either leave the wings closed or leave it open permanently. Or I could just do an animation where it slowly opens and closes, maybe. That might be the best I can get out of that. Now, how does that look there? From top, not too bad. The metal there doesn't really intrude too much because it's kind of flush with the rest of the metal. It's just that front piece that might be a bit odd. But it does give me the girth I want. So I can like protrude some wings out. Or shell even. The question is, I would like something that would curve forward. That's kind of ultimately what I would like. The problem is there something I can use that would do that, fit that for me? Because that's an awkward piece. Although I can kind of fix that to an extent. Let me experiment a little bit. Once I get in the proper place, I'm going to experiment with this some. If I can make this work or not. I'm willing to bet no. But that's not too shabby there. I'll have to offset in though. That's not bad. That has potential. It's the risk of the distorted textures that I'm only the main thing I'm concerned about. It just doesn't seem sick enough, and of course making it sicker there kind of messes with the textures a little bit. But it has potential. Aside for the fact that now it's gonna risk ruining the wings. Maybe I'm wrong about that. What happens if I rotate more? Also, let me make a copy of it before I forget. Because that's obviously going to ruin it there. To an extent. How much rotation am I entitled allowed before eclipse? Only 5, like 10 degrees. Maybe this is not the right idea, or maybe it's just too long. It doesn't look nearly as appealing though when it's shortened though. And this piece can't really rotate that much more, can it? A wing piece that can go out a little bit farther might be good, but I think I'm on the right track. What the hell kind of wing piece can I use? Because that's an odd wing. Oh wait, is that a wing? Yeah, that's a wing. Really? How is this thing a wing, and how the hell can I make it work for me? Because it's going to need a little bit of rotating. Interesting kind of shape. That's going to be a little bit different if I use this wing. Is it in the right place or not? Because it's clipping into that metal right now, which I'm not fond of. So offset it or lower it. What do I do? Now what happens if I do the proportional scaling? It curves downwards when I try and lengthen it. Nope, don't need that. So that's not bad, that has potential. That's not bad at all. Doesn't seem to flush very well on the bottom though. What? I wonder, what happens if I hide this piece? If I hide that piece, well, since it's transparent, that kind of ruins it a little bit for me. The illusion. I'm just wondering if this was connected to the main frame, would that work decently or not? Maybe that'll help a little bit more. Now, it doesn't seem like it has any real bulkhead or superstructure, that's the only problem. So maybe that's a dumb idea. Alright, let's pick that back out. Fix our positioning a little bit. Maybe I'm just using the wrong bulkhead. That's entirely possible too. Let me have a quick look. What kind of other bulkheads do I have? I have the circular one, which isn't bad. It might have worked a little bit better there, quite frankly. We have this bottom shell, which actually, right as I look at it, that's probably the right piece. Ah, damn it. Need to get rid of these wings. Let me get this under this kind of curved bulkhead in there. That probably will do, because it can curve right into the engine nicely. Flip it over, adjust it appropriately, and then scale it down. How big do I need it though? How big do I want? Let me try 50 and see if I can fit it in there properly. Yeah, it's probably going to need to be a little longer or wider. Let's get some whiff on that thing. Of course, it's going to risk ruining the metal some. So I need to be careful there. Now, let's see. Can I get that flush in there? Okay, maybe that was a dumb idea. Maybe I'm an idiot for thinking that would work. I thought that was a good idea too, damn it. No, not so much. Probably will need another piece though to help fix that. Because I need some flushing out there if I'm gonna have it stick out. We have this piece here, but that's kind of awkward. It almost seems like it should be sideways here. Well, not that kind of sideways. Okay, let me flip that around. Can I use this as some kind of connection piece of some kind? I don't think I can. Especially with the way it's connected. No, I don't think it's possible. But there's an interesting thought though. It kind of has like a synergy, an affinity of some kind with the front piece that I had there. It actually does have that going for it. I just don't think it's enough to justify having it though. Now what I want to do is rotate sideways here. As more of like electronic warfare type thing. That does have some synergy going for it. But is it enough to continue what I want to do? Because this thing's still narrow as hell. This thing needs to have the width. That's what I need. I want this to kind of be an extension piece, not like another antenna piece. That's the only problem. But well, the front piece might be good there. I could probably use the back portion to connect with something. I needed just proportional scaling though. I think. A little bit. Might need to rotate some, but scaling seems like it needs to be fixed a little bit. At least on the x-axis so it can fit in a little bit more. Yeah, let me make that 30. Move it up some. And see. That's decent. It's not all that complex though, but I'm half like I feel like the front piece there is perfectly fine. Maybe I could just get like a tiny little cockpit piece in there if needed, but now I want to connect something there. I can easily throw engines on, but is there something I can, because like I said, well, that's bulkhead, never mind. And it has a bunch of lighting, so I don't think I care for that too much either. Because it's easy to throw thrusters in there and make it work, but can I add a little bit more to it? Don't think I want the shell piece. Too many lights. It kind of ruins the whole idea I had, especially for that front piece. So I want to try and minimize the amount of lights I have on this thing. Since it is like a smaller ship after all, so... Not like I want that much more. There we go. There's some good width to that thing. It actually is respectable. It ruins everything though. Can I use this in a way? I was planning on just rotating it to kind of fit in place some. But I don't think that's what I want at all. Okay, so I'm trying to move the x-axis. Apparently I need to move the Z. Let's see if I want to put that in there or not. It doesn't really help at all with the width or anything. But I like to add a little bit more flair to it, just a tiny bit. Because that's respectable. I just don't know, do I want to put it in more? Yeah, the metal's starting to stick out up here out of there a little bit, so maybe scale it down a tiny bit. And of course stick it back out. Yeah, the scaling now kind of ruins it there some. Which rotation is better? Because I'm not entirely certain which I like more. It doesn't feel like it fits in there properly due to the smaller scale I gave it. That's a lot better though. Even though it is still a little bit rough on the edges. Now I just need that back portion to fill out with something. And here's our bulkhead with all the thrusters, which we could put on there if I so wish. I don't think I'm going to do that though. Is there a bulkhead piece of some kind I could put in there? I don't think this is a piece I want, but I need to experiment with it a little bit just so I can get a little more girth to the ship ultimately is what I want. Make it look more resilient than as fragile as it is right now. That's ultimately the hope. Scaling needs to adjust quite significantly though. Now, can I get that to flush in there and make it look good? Not really. Unless I decide to put the engine there, that's the only thing I could think of that would make that look respectable. It's not bad otherwise, but because I can put engines there, that's really the only thing I see that could be useful. Just gotta be careful with how I do this. Because the metal needs to kind of synergize if I'm gonna let it stick out. But this could work. Not really. Doesn't look like it. I just need offset, I think that's what I need to do. It's gonna take a bit of experimentation. Oh yeah, and I want to drop the X down, not whine it. At least that way, maybe. No, I don't think so. Unless I rotate it. Which I don't think is going to do it the way I want. Because now the metal's starting to go through. It doesn't do crap to what I was hoping to get done either. Because now I need to whine it some more, it seems. And that completely threw off everything else in the process. It gave me some engine slots there, some interesting engine spots to put in there, at the very least. I just wish it would highlight for me so I can actually see where I'm connecting them. Because I'm not really seeing where the engines are connecting to, which is a bit of an annoyance. Actually, let me equal out the rotation, because I had my experience where rotating it some kind of messes up how it turns for every other angle, which is not ideal. What's interesting is that these engines are going to be functioning at a different angle altogether. They're not going to be perfectly straight, which is going to be interesting to experiment and see how that works. Now the question is, how deep do I put these inside the ship? Do I want them sticking out all? Because I got a bit of the metal frame sticking up below. Huh. It feels like there's still something missing there in the middle. And part of the engine is sticking out, which is really dislike. Nope. That is not what I want, damn it. Clicked on the wrong component and threw everything off. If anything, I kind of want it to be wider, as well as narrower. And the rotation is a bit off too. It almost seems like. So that looks like it helped a little bit. Now I just gotta get into place. And now the metal's starting to get out there, damn it. I can't win this fight. Okay, that's much better there. It's a little odd, but again, now I need something to put in the middle.